We should be live now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Play 3 Galaxies. Last session was pretty crazy. You guys took down the Master insanely quickly. Really fast. Took her out, killed her, grabbed Lucas, and exited the building after also doing away with Vector. Just popping him like a champagne bottle. You went back to the ship. You took Simon with you. And after a very, very risky and somewhat stressful operation, managed to successfully move the organic bits and pieces of Simon to a fully functional, far less combat-oriented suit. A metal, basically he's still a Borg, just a much less bulky.
You mean Sam?
Sam, I'm sorry. Yes.
To be fair, I was distracted retweeting the tweet, so I only registered halfway through that you were even talking about me.
I meant Sam, but we were literally like 10 minutes ago talking about Simon, which is a completely different NPC.
I never met him.
No, you never did. He exited stage left a long time ago.
Sam is mildly based off of a character named Simon.
Wait, no, who is Simon? I don't remember Simon.
Simon was the leader of the Corsairs that screwed you guys over.
No. Simon is somebody completely different.
No. Oh, Simmons.
Simmons, yeah.
Look, I don't have those notes pulled up.
Yeah.
You got it right the first time when we were talking about it earlier.
In my defense, I'm pretty sure they're not going to come up during the session, so I don't have those notes pulled up.
Okay.
I mean, a little bit of spoiler.
The toilet with like a knife.
He comes out of our magic portal thing in the bathroom.
You guys just go, Squee, we want to go hunt down Simmons. No, what? No.
We say that 5 minutes before session.
Sorry, Sam has been successfully moved to a mechanical body that will house him indefinitely. But obviously he's still very restricted. He has no sense of feel or smell.
Okay, I'm glad he's in a body, because I realized this morning, I don't know if he's in a body thing or he's just sitting in a box.
No. No. He is in a body. So he can move around. He is mobile. Similar in size and shape to Cyber 6, though nowhere near as advanced. But like I said, the severe restrictions are that his eyes are mechanical. He doesn't have a sense of touch. He kind of does. He has tactile, like he can tell how hard he's holding onto something, but he can't feel the texture of a wall. He can't smell, sense in a room. So his senses are all digital. And while that was the case before, he was also incredibly muted. His mind was incredibly muted before and restricted. So this is the first time that he has been in a mechanical body with his full mental capacity.
Oops.
And actually, that's a good thing to point out. He's adjusting fairly well. Sam is never been. He's always been a bit of a trooper. Not someone that complains too much. May have complained to Anna, but I mean, certainly someone that kept a brave face for the most part, especially to people he doesn't know very well. So
that's how you survive.
Right, absolutely. So he's adjusting as well as someone could in that situation. Ryle's wounds have been cured. Hellhound's wounds have been cured. Miss Felina asked to leave the ship after Isaac informed her that he had killed Vector. And while he technically did not say it was him, and he technically did not say it was in cold blood, it was very insinuated. But she left, I was going to say peacefully, but really, I mean, what was she going to do? She left, not very happy with what happened. Very conflicted feelings for her there. And we kind of ended the session in a more narrative standpoint where time was moving on and you guys were going to start discussing the next step. You have 2 Lucases, which you are keeping fairly separated, and you actually managed to convince to follow your crazy plan and give up his plate. You have Cathor and Isaac working almost around the clock to finish the catapult, which is an insanely simple device, all things considered, if it wasn't for the precision that it needed. And Isaac, you both quickly realize that the only way this is going to work is for it to be mounted on the ship, so that the basically almost like a torpedo tube on the ship, but to the side, with extremely precise controls. And your character would very quickly realize that the precision, there's going to be complications to this. Namely, with the precision you're going to need to hit a plate that is miles and miles away is astronomical. And while you have the computer ability to do this, there's going to be a couple of things. One, you are much stronger in telemechanics than Cathor ever was. That's one thing that you've learned about him. It's kind of amazing. He has some ability with telemechanics, but he's created everything he's created with far weaker skill in that than even you or Hart.
Fucking really?
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why it's something that he would have told you while you were working on it. It's one of the reasons why he's one of the best. He wanted to be a techno wizard, and he did not have. Telemechanics is almost a mandatory necessity for a techno wizard, and he was very weak in it. So he was driven to overcome that, and he found many ways to work around it or to maximize his weaker talent. So that he can create brilliant things. And a lot of it is that in his older age, a lot of the information you gain by diving into a machine telemechanically, he is just assimilated and learned over a long life. So his intellectual knowledge of how machines work is incredible and largely makes up for his weak ability to meld with the machine telemechanically. He can do it.
That is blowing my mind, but that makes so much sense. And why his stuff is so complicated, because it has to be.
It has to be. It absolutely has to be. But what this means is that you're going to have to make the because he cannot meld with it strongly enough to be able to set those accurate calculations. Other complications that will arise in order for that shot to work, because even a millimeter off target, you could miss the plate by 100 feet. The ship will have to be put into a geosynchronous orbit around the planet precisely, and then you will have to power down the ship so that there is no hum or vibrations on the hull. Otherwise, you might as well just be firing from the hip.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to be in a geosynchronous orbit, floating, power dead. And the really complicated part with this, and you're going to have to tell the group this part, once the plates hit, you're pretty sure there's going to be a very large explosion, which means you're going to have go from the ship being completely off to moving as fast as you can.
Fuck.
These are all things that you learn while you're putting this together.
Okay.
So, the honest truth is, and this is actually a nice little feature of your ship, the Second Chance, if it weren't for the fact that you had the Leviathan's engine in there,
Lucitan.
This wouldn't be doable. Lucitan, sorry, thank you. This would not be doable. Would not be doable, because a ship going from 0 power to full power usually takes minutes. And your Lucitan engine cuts that in half. So
because its specialty was running silent.
Well, and powering up incredibly quickly.
Yeah.
Not your light speed engines, of course, but your basic traveling engines can power up much faster than any other ship that you know of.
Yeah. God, that's... Oh. Okay.
The only bright side to it is that you found that the way the machine can work is you can actually place one plate and the orb, however you want to deal with it, somewhere stationary on the planet. So at least that side is fairly stationary, but it also means that you're going to have to either correct for atmosphere or find the place
I'm
that
gonna
doesn't
have to make the
atmosphere.
shot. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to make a shot, aren't I?
Yep.
Question:
Yes.
Are all of the algorithms already like calculated and everything, or is
Yes.
it gonna have
So,
to?
well,
Okay.
so let me put it this way: you know what algorithms are going to have to be made, but the calculations themselves can't be made until you know exactly where you are, what your orbit will be like, and the shot itself. And then, of course, there's always the marksman's room area, which means that all the calculations can be in, but a lot of it too is just the
Feeling the
sights,
shot.
the trigger pull, feeling the shot, which is why Hart would never be able to do it. She's got stronger telemechanics than you, but she doesn't have the instinct of a shooter.
Yeah. Okay. Can I make a... Can I make what is essentially a controller that is hooked up to a gun? A motion controller?
Yeah, absolutely. I would assume that would be part of the design. So, like,
Yeah.
Isaac would make an interface that he would be most comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Like a plastic toy gun with a bunch of accelerometers on it.
Yeah.
So that he can physically make the shot.
I like it. That we can, because you've already put a lot of time and effort into it, so I would say that would have been something you would have been thinking of from the get-go.
Fuck yeah, I love this.
Yeah. Over the course, I think we did about 2 weeks. Catherine and Isaac and Hart helping with that. Hart helping as much as she can. She is actually incredibly good with the calculations themselves. Actually, Anna, they'll probably need a little bit of help from you as well because they're going to have to program the algorithms.
Okay.
And we'll make rolls for all that soon. Well, actually, no, Isaac. I think you've already been rolling for the creation of the device. So, you know what? Just do that. Anna, can you do me a computer? So it would be intelligence with proficiency.
Okay.
Should I roll telemechanics?
No, we'll save that until when you actually merge with it.
Okay.
Because I know you've already made rolls for this device in the past, and they've been pretty good.
Okay.
Oof.
No, that's fine. It's not.
So actually +4 to that, so 15.
Oh, okay, even better. It wasn't an incredibly hard DC. While the calculations need to be extremely precise, programming mathematic equations is pretty simple when it comes to programming. You know, it's not like you're trying to create a morphine multi-headed virus or something. You're just creating the algorithms, the calculations the computer will need to do to show Isaac the trajectory. So you do a pretty bang up job of it. You do a nice job. It's simple, it's easy, it's clean. You're even able to make a nice little interface with it. So Isaac will be able to clearly. So you can make it so that the algorithms will not only make the calculations, but project like a path, like a laser point trajectory for Isaac to follow.
Okay.
Lucas and Kid. I know we went over this a little bit last week, but what are you guys doing more or less over the course of the next few weeks?
Few weeks.
Yeah, like we're saying about 2 weeks. This is the first 2 weeks after the end of Vector.
Gosh, an entire 2 weeks. Kid, do you have anything? So I have some time to think.
Fuck. I had something that I wanted to do, but now I can't remember what it was.
I
Shit.
think I remember. You wanted to go find someone.
Right, shit, yeah. Kid wants to try and find Ms. Felina.
Okay. Roll me an investigation check.
Oh boy.
Actually, you know what? Roll that with advantage because Hellhound would be more than happy to help you out. He's got nothing to do.
Yay.
And while tracking people in the city is not exactly his forte, he can help. Okay.
How's the 27?
I forgot you had a 9 to your investigation.
Uh-huh.
So what you do is you track her down, not through survival. It's not like you're sitting there sniffing her out and following her. You know that in a city like this, that wouldn't work very well.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do is you track through other means. You track her through public terminals. You track her through webcams and cameras and sightings and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to determine that she went to another sector of Zebron, Sector 4, which is a residential area, and has taken up residence in a fairly run-down motel, room 624.
Alrighty, I guess Kid's going to be making a visit to her. Kids, I don't know if anyone wants to join them, but Kid's pretty much just going to be like, I've got a thing to do. I'll be out for a little bit.
All right.
Okay.
Who was that to? Sorry?
To all of you, if anyone wanted to go with Kid.
I mean, I don't think Anna really knew what went on, so...
Well, it's not really explained. She's just saying she has a thing to do.
Yeah.
I guess Anna's creating a program, so...
What day is this on? Day 1? Day 1 of the 2 weeks?
Sure.
Lucas looks a bit aloof, but like perks up a bit, and then says, "Yeah, I can come along." Come on. Where are we going?
Sure. Like after a minute, Kid's just like, sure, why not? Fuck it. And I guess Lucas and Kid are going off to have an adventure.
All right. The fun adventures.
Woo.
Yeah, Hellhound would go back to the ship. He would literally tell you, like, after you fight her, he'd be like, I'm glad that you found her. I have no interest in being there.
That's fine.
And he'll go back to the ship. Where he's actually become pretty fast friends with Ryle, but let's be honest, who's not?
He's a good boy.
So you and Lucas make your way to Sector 4, to the rundown motel, and to room 624. Has a little button for some sort of electronic doorbell. Looks like there's a camera built into the door, so someone can probably go up to the door and see who's on the other side.
Real quick, would you actually ask what they were doing, Piph?
No, he seems to just be following you around. Didn't ask a single thing, though he looks like he's about to.
Might be a little bit late for that. Kid's gonna ring the doorbell.
I like how Lucas is fine, and then all of a sudden he's like,
I'm just wondering, like, what are we doing here?
I'm
Ding
In
sorry.
dong.
front of like an apartment door, just so.
Yeah, and I gotta imagine probably Kid was standing there for a good 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, they're just like standing there shuffling from one foot to the other, like clearly working up the courage to actually push the button, and then finally I imagine Lucas like opens his mouth to be like, so what exactly are we doing here? And they just click the button.
There's a pause, and then you hear a voice on the side. Yes?
Miss Felina,
Who wants to know?
Kid.
Oh. As I remember that while there is a camera in the door, she probably can't reach it.
Probably not, and even if she could, Kid's a little on the short side.
Right.
Just Lucas
There's
there on the
another long
camera.
pause.
Hello.
There's another long pause. I'm not sure I have anything to say to you or your friends.
Well, it's just me and Lucas, but I wanted to talk to you about what Isaac said.
There is another long pause, and then the door would click open. And you see her rolling away, like with the door open.
Mm-hmm. Kid takes a visible breath and steps through the door.
Lucas will follow.
She will roll to the other side of the room and then turn around. She will say, "Because of what you did for me, saving my life, I feel that you at least deserve for me to hear you out. Please, close the door. Have a seat."
Lucas walks back to the door and closes it.
Did you grow up in a barn?
God,
I don't know. I just
letting
don't
out
know.
all the cool air. Kid kind of glances around and eventually sits down at, I don't know, a couch or something, whatever's there.
Sure. There's one couch and a bed.
Kid sits down on the couch for a moment and then after a bit sort of shuffles around uncomfortably and then ends up sitting on the floor.
All right, Lucas.
Lucas will stand a little bit towards the edge of the room, like in a doorway or something.
Very mysterious.
Okay, gotcha. Doorway to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Felina will fold her hands on her laps. All of them. All of her laps.
Cool.
And will say, "Before you get started, I feel that I should warn you. I know I left abruptly, but Isaac told me what he did to Vector, and while I may be in no position to judge him given what Vector did to you, he still was a very dear friend of mine, and I believe that Isaac killed him in cold blood."
That's the thing. And Kid kind of scratches the back of their head and says, he wasn't the one that killed him. That was me.
I see. So, your group is very fond of doing the benevolent thing when it comes to people in your group. If only that were extended to people outside of it.
No, honestly, I think pretty much everyone had decided that we were going to work with him. That was just me. And Kid's just kind of looking down at the ground, not quite meeting her eyes.
I feel I may already know the answer, but perhaps you would do me the kindness. Why?
How much do you know about what happened in the tower?
The tower?
Where we were, the big
You
building.
mean the nerve building?
Yeah.
Nothing. I only know that Vector agreed to help you if you, in return, would help him ensure this disaster of Sigma-7. And I at least believed him.
Well, if I remember correctly, you saw the people in the video that were with him. Those were, to be quite honest, they were terrible people. And they were people that he gathered for the specific and sole purpose of pretty much either tracking us down or just straight up killing us. Each and every one of them had some level of grudge against us that was worth killing countless. And once we had finished taking care of them, we were getting ready to leave. And the only thing that I could think in that moment was, out of everyone in that building, the one who could do the most damage was still alive. The one who was most willing to do it was still alive. I don't have a lot of friends. And I haven't had them for long, and they look over at Lucas and then look down at their hands. The idea that he was still going to be out there, still a threat, still plotting and scheming, this was my only chance to make sure he could never hurt my family again. And so I took it.
I see. I cannot. I have difficulty judging you after what Vector did. He did horrible things. To you, to me, to many people. You do not know him like I knew him. But I had thought that... Well, what I thought, I suppose, doesn't matter to you. So you thought the only solution was to kill him, out of all the options in the world.
Kid thinks about it for a moment and frowns a little and finally looks back up into her eyes and says, Honestly, I don't know if there would have been another solution. Maybe. Probably. But in the end, killing is kind of what I was made for. And if that's what I need to keep doing to keep the people I care about safe, then that's what I'll do. I don't really want to, but if I
Kid,
have to, I will.
I know very little about where you came from. I was at that meeting, and I saw the one who created you. So I can't pretend to understand your thought process. Maybe you were designed to kill, and that's why you think like that. Or maybe you just have never known another way. But in any case, I want to tell you a story. Vector was once... He was once called Phelan. I think that's why we became such good friends. Our names were so similar. He used to call me his sister. He was a kind man and a good leader. He saved my lives more times than I could count, and more importantly, he saved the lives of more innocents than you have ever met, sacrificing everything. His health, his well-being, his dreams, to save others. He believed in the Corsairs because when he was young, his family was murdered by pirates, and a Corsair saved him. Vector was a true believer, and when I, one of his crew, one of his family, had a vision Sigma 7 would never occur, he knew that he had to change it, to ensure it, not because he was a monster, but because he truly believed it was the right thing to do, the benevolent thing. Have you ever seen someone obsessed, kid?
Yeah.
It changes them, doesn't it?
Honestly, I wouldn't know. I met her after that started.
Then take it from me. Obsession eats into you, claws into you, uses your good intentions against you until you find yourself compromising to achieve goals, noble goals, kind goals. Until one day you find that your soul is dark and black and you do horrific things, all in the name of making the lives of others better. What Vector did to you was horrible. What he did to me was terrible. But I still think that even until the very end, the very last moment, he wanted to do what was right for the galaxy, even if his methods were misguided. And while I don't think that makes him a good person, I had thought that with your help, you could have all done something great. And then maybe he could have atoned. Maybe I could have talked to him. Maybe he could have become the man I knew. And you took that from me. So you may have kept your friends safe. But you did so at the cost of my everything.
Kid just looks down at their hands. Not really sure what to say at this point.
I have no right to judge you. I only have the right to tell you the consequences of what you did.
After a bit, Kid would just stand up, still not quite meeting her eyes, and nod and say, I am sorry. And they will head towards the door.
As you go towards the door, you hear from behind you, I do wish safety for your friends, and wish them long lives. Because I would hate to think Vector died for nothing.
I plan on making sure of it.
You hear no response.
Kid glances at Lucas.
Still standing at the doorway. Lucas has a very tiny smile on, but that's normal for Lucas, from what you know of him. He's still standing there.
Then eventually there'd be a... Was there something you wanted to discuss, Lucas?
He slowly looks over and goes, I guess not. But he still has that tiny smile on, and then it kind of goes into a more neutral face. And he goes, I am truly sorry for your loss. He gives a very odd, just like un-eye contact bow.
I wish, Lucas, that you and your friends had believed Vector. And I wish that I could believe you. But I'm afraid that some things aren't meant to be.
He rises back up. Gives one nod. And slowly unprops himself against from the door, and walks out.
All right.
Boy, that was uplifting.
That went well.
Yeah.
Murder is a strong solution.
Mm-hmm.
It's effective. There's no denying that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what next? What are you guys doing? We can pull this back a bit narratively. Say, what's your next steps?
Do we want to go talk to Hagen?
Sure, I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, real quick, does Hellhound want to go home?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I think he would. Probably after about a week or so. He would request to go back to the platform. He misses the people there, which is an odd sensation. He's never had that before.
My stomach
you
feels
never
very
miss
weird.
He would say, "Kid, will you be okay?"
Yeah, I'll be fine. It's nothing new.
You are welcome to visit. I can promise you that over the next 500 years, you will be experiencing a lot of changes. I could help with that.
Kid frowns a little bit and goes, okay, yeah, sure.
We are, if nothing else, blessed with very long lives.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then with that, he would, of course, request a lift to Paladine.
Let's get the crane.
Not too many shuttles. Not too many shuttles headed to that planet for some reason. Not exactly a tourist attraction.
But it's so
Aw.
lush and green.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like New Zealand, but swampy.
Like New Zealand, but like if hot and ugly and ugh,
A lot of
full of
really big,
monsters.
angry animals. Hmm.
But yes, you're able to return him to platform 48, where he is greeted very cheerfully by the people there. And you saw a lot of this last time you were there, but it is very clear that he seems to have made a home here. The people here see him as a protector and valued member of the community.
Big fluff.
Yep. That's what the kids call him. The adults don't call him.
Yes, they do.
They do. They do. So, what was the next step after that? Talk to Hagen?
Yee.
I think so, yeah.
Alrighty. You do pretty much have permission to... Oh, no, hang on. There's one other thing I need to cover over the next course of the next 2 weeks. At some point, probably we'll say a week after, you would hear a commotion down in the loading bay. I don't know who would be nearby. I'd leave it up to you guys who is there exactly. But you would hear what sounds like shouting. And
Anna's going to investigate shouting.
up the ramp walks up a very irate paw. He's walking up the ramp, and he says, "Goddamn corsairs, or whatever the hell they're called. Call that a goddamn rescue." Where is she? Where's Hart?
Anna is smiling and just goes, "I'll go find her," and just goes to the intercom and just goes, "Hey, Hart, can you come downstairs?"
Coming. Wait, Anna?
Yes.
You never call me to go anywhere.
My computer's acting up.
But you're the
Just
programmer.
come downstairs. Come downstairs.
She's like, okay. And then about 30 seconds later, she comes down. And while you're waiting, Pa goes, Do you know who they sent, the yahoos they sent to break me out of that prison?
Oh, yeah.
You do?
Yeah,
I
I think
mean,
we met at least one of them.
Well, I think that was supposed to be their operator, or
Wasn't another person with them, though? Wasn't your character with them,
No.
Alora?
No.
Oh.
And he just kind of grumbles. He says, "Damn near had to rescue myself. I mean, they're good at things. You know, one of them I think actually tried to offer to cook for me in the middle of the prison, right there.
Honestly, I would have taken it.
Yeah, not the time.
It's always the time for food.
Look, I have worked on the edges of the law for a long time, and I have dealt with a lot of disorganized groups, but that, well, they got me out anyway, so I suppose that... Heart!" And, like, at that point, Heart comes down, and she's like, "Bah!" And, you know, there's the teary-eyed, joyful reunion. Paw running to Heart, Heart running to Paw.
Practically
slow
leaps
motion.
off the stairs.
Slow motion, Hearts floating through the air. And then of course, so I'll handle this a bit narratively, so I'm not just talking to myself. Basically, it looks like the Corsair group that was hired to get him out did the job, kind of. It was by the end of it, it was more of a Paw was rescuing them as much as they were rescuing him type of deal. But they all managed to get out of there with no casualties, but an immense amount of property damage. And he is back safe and sound, more or less. And has begun asking when he gets to go back to Frontier Station.
Probably soon. Also, at some point during that reunion, Anna would also call Isaac down.
Thank you.
Like 3
Wait,
weeks later, I was just
patiently.
like, "Wait, Paw?"
Right? Just randomly
you
runs
get
into
here?
him on the ship.
That also sounds like Anna.
They're just like at the chow hall. Wait, what?
Hey, welcome. This is our ship. Let me show you around. Oh, you've been here for 3 weeks now. Oops.
No, so Isaac comes down probably while Paw was explaining a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "So, let me get this straight.
Yes.
Right now, I
Mhm.
am 500 years in the future of where I live."
Yes. Also, you are on a ship that is bigger on the inside than the outside. In case you didn't notice.
We're
Like,
technically
looks
a
up.
ship inside of a ship.
And his eyes widen a little bit.
This is essentially the size of an actual cruiser instead of a frigate. On the inside.
I guess I was a little distracted.
Yeah. Well, welcome to our humble abode. We
You could hide a lot of contraband in a place like this.
Oh, you could. Oh, trust me. Trust
And
me.
you,
And
you hear like
Isaac's...
Hart like slap him in the arm and say, "Paw, not now. No."
No, I think this is the perfect time. Why don't I show you around and go through the kind of stuff that we can hide.
He like
and also,
he like absentmindedly pats Hart away, but like he's fully focused on Isaac now.
So did you know we have these little wristwatches? Now, if you come outside with me, and he's gonna take him outside, close
and you give
up
him like a tour. Mhm.
Yeah, he's gonna close up the ship, click the wristwatch, which seems to have a button on its own, and goes into the inside of the actual ship. The frigate part.
Right.
Yeah.
And he shows you see that, and when he walks in there, he goes, "Wait, this is the ship I sold you."
Yes, it is. And
That's a hell of an upgrade.
yeah, techno wizardry is so cool. Pocket dimensions. That's the operative word. Pocket dimensions.
Huh. So when we get back home,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we should discuss a new lucrative track.
Perhaps.
He
Maybe.
nods. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go look at some history, namely some lotteries.
Sure, I guess. Here, and he's
roll
gonna.
roll me an intelligence check.
Is it gonna matter?
It might.
8.
I mean, sure. Seems like a good idea.
Yeah, why not? I mean, a little bit of extra money. Totally not corrupt
Why
at
not?
all.
Nah. Take advantage while you can.
Yeah, totally.
So Pa goes out. You will find later that day he comes back flustered saying that he could not find a single lottery ticket, past sport event to bet on, or anything of the kind. It's like they purposely will purge all that from the systems. And
Damn,
he
that
did
sucks.
find out that all forms of betting like that were outlawed once temporal travel became a thing.
Okay.
Not a thing
That's
that
one
this
way to
group's...
end it.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a thing this group's ever really had to deal with. You guys aren't exactly gamblers or anything, but
We gamble with our lives.
right.
Yeah.
But once temporal gates were invented, by necessity, all not all forms of gambling. There's still gambling. It's still like casinos, but all forms of betting and lotteries were outlawed.
Yeah.
And most records of past lotteries and the such they're not purged so much as kept under lock and key.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the Corsair archive.
It wouldn't be there.
Oh, okay. That would be funny, though.
But Pa comes back somewhat frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
So, but he'll take up residence. He is more or less no worse for wear.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely good. So the Corsairs you hired did do their job, even if Pa didn't seem very impressed by them. But Pa's hard to please.
Yeah.
So you all, who's going to meet Admiral Hagen?
Me.
Makes sense.
Should I go?
Yes.
Should I stay or should I go?
Okay, so all of us are going.
All right.
Yes, I hope so.
Cyber 6 and Indigo, of course. Well, no, they can't, can they? They can't really
Nope.
go with you. Yeah.
Not unless we
yeah.
smuggle them in. Not
No,
unless we
they're-
open a balcony door and then Kid flips them in.
No.
Why?
Cyber 6 would say at this moment, it's not worth the risk.
Okay.
All the plans that you guys are putting together foiled by Cyber 6 getting arrested and thrown into Corsair prison. Probably not the best.
Maybe not.
We know who to
Yes,
hire
I
to
know.
break people out of prison.
Yeah, the Corsairs. Get sent to Corsair prison and hire the Corsairs to get them out. We can do it,
Be
guys.
like,
They're desperate for a job.
we have another
Yeah,
job
man.
for you.
Actually, believe it or not, there's no way you guys would know this as characters, so I'll just tell you as players. Hagen has a habit of breaking or of acting like a prisoner that breaks loose, and he has newbie recruits hunt him down.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fun thing he likes to do with Corsairs he finds interesting, so he can test them.
He
And-
finds it fun, so he does reverse dangerous
So you were
hunt alive. What was
planning-
dangerous game alive?
You were planning on having us do that in Corsair Squee?
At some point, yes.
Jesus.
He's a special class. I forget what it's called now, but he's a class that's incredibly good at escaping things. Like, basically, if you leave him unattended for more than 30 seconds, he can escape anything but magical bonds
Very
and
interesting.
run.
Anna
Yeah.
wants to talk to him. No.
Anna
By
doesn't
the
know
way,
these things.
for the viewers, by the way,
Yeah.
just in case it wasn't obvious yet, the Corsair group from the series our Corsair series are the ones that broke out Pa, including
Yes.
Core and all of those guys.
Core, yeah.
He's
exactly.
the one that was going to make the food.
Offer them, make food in the middle of a prison.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
you guys go up to the desk, and this is a process you've kind of been through before. The secretary at the desk will call up, and you actually end up having to wait about 3 hours as Admiral Hagen. Believe it or not, it can be a busy
Has
man.
a job?
Yeah,
What?
Admiral of the Corsairs or something. I don't know.
We are number one priority. I am highly offended by this.
No. Yeah, I get that. I get that.
That's why it's not 6 hours.
Yeah. You just can't throw off his groove. Is all I'm saying. So eventually, you would be led back there to his private quarters, and when you do get back, and you're allowed into his private quarters, there is food on the table, and it smells delicious. And you see Hagen sitting there, in a Corsair uniform, but the jacket's taken off, so all that's he's wearing right now is a very fancy shirt, mask on, and pants, of course. That's probably important.
We walk
glad
in,
you
he's
clarified.
just wearing underwear and nothing else,
Well,
and he's
actually-
lying on the table with a rose.
Actually, it wouldn't be the
He's
first
fucking
time.
done it before. Yeah.
Treat me like one of your French corsairs.
But my
I
point
call
is he
this
doesn't go,
ennui.
my point is he doesn't go to meetings like that. That's what I'm trying to say. And he's sitting at the table and he goes, my friends, come. I haven't eaten at all today, so I hope you don't mind. At least I brought enough for everyone.
No, don't
Sure,
mind
I
at all.
don't mind. Good. Eat sitting down, please.
Yes, that is typically how it's done.
Yes.
And he
I don't
looks
know,
at the others like questioningly, like,
There are some
Okay.
cultures that eat standing up, but it would be best if you were to sit down. So anyways.
right.
He's already
So-
sitting, Isaac.
By all means, enjoy. So funny thing happened. You hear the news in the city. The nerve building disappeared for hours. Just suddenly reappeared again, and when it did, lots of dead people inside.
Wow.
Who
You don't
could
say.
have seen such a thing coming.
Well, certainly not me. I just bring it up because when you guys are around, strange things tend to happen.
I
You
mean, that
and
sounds
Mackenzie.
mighty illegal. I don't know if that's us.
He'll nod.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Kid says with absolute conviction with their 3 deception.
Let's
He
give
goes,
this
looks
a
at Kid and
whirl.
goes, oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And he kind of sits back a little surprised. He's like, I was actually just kind of guessing. I thought it maybe, but wow, okay.
You guys suck at this.
Like Lucas, you're looking at them like, really?
Well, to be fair, Kid and Isaac tried. Anna did it.
Yeah. But he's actually clearly somewhat surprised. It was like he was not shooting in the dark per se, but certainly casting a wide net. Because to be fair, you guys were kind of careful about your involvement with it. So he seems more surprised than anything. And he goes, okay, now I'm curious. If you are up for it, why would you make a building disappear and then kill everyone inside?
We had nothing to do with that.
So,
So I
Try-
guess Lucas.
Lucas then goes, try it like this. I honestly don't even know what a tower is, let alone how the heck to make it disappear. That's how you lie to people.
Hang on.
Wait. No. I got this. Trust me. We're in the future?
Okay. Hagen goes, okay, while obviously a lie, I have to admit, your relaxed tone is pretty convincing. Kind of ruined it at the start there, but yeah.
Never heard of a tower before. Looks around at tower.
All right. I won't pry, as most of the people we found in there that were dead turned out to be criminals.
Right?
Weird.
All gathered in one place, right?
weird monsters, and I swear the report said something about vampires, but honestly, there wasn't enough left to ID that properly. Vampires, really? Like he squints his eyes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Oh yeah. And they
God,
they
there
were
were
all
so many of them.
They were all
I've never
sectioned-
even heard of a vampire.
No. They were all sectioned off with all of their limbs and burned in separate fire piles, right? That's how you kill a vampire. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, we had a Corsair that had dealt with them a while back, and that's the only way they could tell. Right.
eh?
So, okay. He leans back. So let me get this straight. There was a building, Nerve Building, which has been a part of Zebron for years. And in this building were, and he starts counting off his fingers, a criminal syndicate, monsters of some unknown make or origin, and vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also one of the ex-Corsair. Potentially an ex-Corsair. In
No,
Roswell.
Anna's
Kid
shoving your
kicked
arm.
him gently in the shin.
You guys suck at this.
Roll damage. How much damage do I take?
It'd be a kick. So if she was really trying, it'd still only be 1 point plus her strength modifier.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 8.
So what's your strength modifier?
7?
No,
All right,
no. Mackenzie's strength modifier.
2.
Because kid, you're not trying to delimb him.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I'm not actually trying to hurt him.
No, but I think Anna is. So Anna would do 3 points of damage to Isaac.
Okay. I'm at 98
I think
HP.
kid's just trying to give him a nudge. I think Anna's screws him.
Yeah, I believe
Alright.
it.
Takes her heel and just jabs it into his ankle.
No!
And
Wow.
Hagen
You're right,
just
that would be
kinda
more than 3.
leans forward again and goes, "All right. So, why'd you come? It wasn't just to join me for dinner, I assume."
Oh, before any of these nice folk speak up again, I think we should get to a bit. If there's a way to make this conversation a bit more secure.
Oh, already taken care of. You guys have never once entered my quarters without the room being... actually, that sounds kind of creepy. That's not the way it's supposed to...
We set a precedent. We come in and tell you things that people shouldn't hear.
Right, he points to Anna. Yes, see, that's what I'm talking about. Just didn't quite come out. Thank you, young lady.
I might still want to double down on the previous statement. This might be the highest.
It's kind of big.
Let's just say we were almost unwilling to even speak to you about this, and any sort of breath of this would be terrible for everyone.
I see. All right, then. Why don't we move to a different location?
All right.
Maybe we should eat dinner first and then move. So at least you have something in you.
He's been standing up and he's grabbing food.
Okay.
What about the ship?
Well, I was going to take you to a ship, yes. A ship that is very secure and would protect us from pretty much everything.
I was
Is
going to
it
suggest going to
pocket
our
dimension?
ship.
His ship should be fine.
Okay.
Have you ever been on a Corsair ship?
No?
Yes.
Nope.
You have?
Oh yes, they're lovely.
Lucas!
He
Yeah.
nods. You should try it. Come, grab some food.
You've been holding out
And
on
it's
me.
he's like, do I get to fly it?
No. Well, maybe if she likes you.
Her eyebrows go up. She's now curious.
Turns to Isaac I'm almost positive you were on one too.
Yeah, I remember Lucas
yeah.
specifically. I
I
don't remember
have
if Isaac
bad
was
memory.
or not.
I think.
Oh no, you were. Yeah.
I
It
have
was a
bad
long
memory.
ass
Never
time
mind.
ago.
I'm
I
very
remember
sorry.
Lucas because Lucas interacted with the ship, but I don't think Isaac ever did.
He was
Yeah.
flirting with that fucking ship.
Lucas was he was flirting, but also was on that ship, for our trip. I remember us
Right.
taking a trip, and he was on that ship for a while. I think this was during the hunt.
Mhm.
But yeah, I have bad memory. Never mind.
Yeah, you guys were on the ship where Indigo and Cyber 6 used to be part of the crew.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Sure. So Admiral Hagen would lead you guys down the hall into a hangar bay where you see an old ship. It's well cared for, but the edges are rounded and smoothed with age. The landing gear is likewise showing signs of age. And the ramp goes down, and he leads you up into it. He goes, I don't fly her very much anymore. Not really one for the field ever since the whole. And he with his head motions towards the Admiral bars on the coat that he's put back on. But I do come here as often as I can. It's peaceful. Plus, it's good to remember old friends. And you all are invited into the ship, and it is very white inside. Very white, very clean, very rounded. And what I mean by that is everything is curved and smooth and no sharp edges or corners. Very almost organic like would be the word you would use for it. And Lucas, while you're very familiar with this, the rest of you, with the exception of maybe Isaac, this would be a new experience. When you enter the ship, a sense of well-being, of peace kind of comes over you. I'd like both of you, Lucas, you don't have to, but I'd like Kid and Anna to roll me a wisdom check, just a straight wisdom check.
So 15.
Okay.
Unless
Wait,
you
mean,
do you want that plus 2 or no?
Yeah. Well, the +2 would be for
Okay.
your stats. So yeah, 17.
Okay, then 17.
How wise is Kid?
Not very.
Good enough. All right, Anna.
Mhm.
In the back of your mind, you swear you can hear the most beautiful voice singing to you. Very comforting. Doesn't distract you, but it's always there.
God, what song do I got stuck in my head now?
It's an interesting thing. It's not so much a song, but an ever-changing melody. Lucas,
Suspicious.
you as well, but I mean, this is not new to you.
No.
Though this one is different from last time. It feels older, kinder, maybe softer would be the word. And Hagen would lead you through the corridor and to another room with a large table, and then kind of start dumping the food back on the table. Make sure the door closes behind all of you and ushers you all into seat. Sits down and takes a chicken leg and swipes it through some mashed potatoes and then takes a big bite, and he goes, huh. Now, this is as secure as it gets. She'll keep us private. Her song will block out anything else.
Is that what I'm hearing? The ship?
Oh, right. Corsair ships are alive. They're grown. The part that you're in, this, and he taps on the wall, is a shell. A metal shell organically grown around the creature. We don't have engines. We have a heart. We don't have flight controls. She simply takes our commands and takes us where we need to go. Every Corsair ship is like this, and the better you treat them, the longer you're with them, the more powerful, well, the more of a connection they can form. I have to admit my ship is very old, and I've been very kind to her, so she is stronger than most. A lot of Corsairs think that it's a myth that the ship can't sing to you or talk to you. It's only because their ships are young or they don't take the time to try and connect with them.
Anna looks very awestruck. Like, this is amazing to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've never heard of technology like this.
No.
And you're from Zebron.
Kinda.
Kind of. I mean, you're from this world, at least.
This is her century.
And he would say, they are amazing. They feed off of ley line energy, and they can heal and repair themselves. We can fly faster, further, longer than most other ships, and we don't require fuel in the traditional sense, just ley line energy once every 6 months or so.
That's amazing.
It is a gift from the Aveen.
Okay, things make a bit more sense now.
She is a friend, a comfort, and she will keep our conversation private.
That's probably good, because I don't see this conversation going any direction but somber.
Oh,
That's definitely a word for it.
well, that's not very uplifting.
Sorry. But it is... Lucas was right in that we should probably be as secure as possible with this, because it could affect the Corsairs in general.
Well then, why don't we finish dinner first? Small talk, perhaps?
Of course.
Wouldn't want to spoil the appetite.
No, definitely not.
And as you guys have dinner, Hagen will tell you tales of when he was a Corsair, when he was a novice, and you find out that he is 120 years old, and which is, for a human, still really good.
Especially
And
with how
he's been-
fucking sprightly he is.
Yeah.
And he's been a Corsair ever since he was 18.
Damn.
So adventures he has in spades. And also why, as he kind of explained, why his ship's song is so powerful. Because they've been bonding with each other for over 100 years.
That's a long commitment.
Yeah. After dinner, he would eventually finally push his plate back and belch loudly, clean out his beard, his flavor saver, as he calls it. He's old. He doesn't care what your opinions are.
Fair. So
He would lean back and he would say, all right. So, on to the somber stuff.
Anna will look over at Lucas to see if he wants to tell it, or...
He gives you like a yeah, I can do it shrug.
Kid's got a finger on their nose.
Of all things Kid knows that.
Mhm.
So where to start? I guess a bit of backstory and small talk about it. All this. So, there was a nice gentleman who we've met many times before, and he has become increasingly aggressive over the time. And we, after a few bouts of life and death and all that other biz, we found out his motivation. Apparently, he was trying to keep the timeline intact.
What, like a Corsair?
Which was odd to me, yeah. None of the other Corsairs, you don't seem to really mention it. Almost no one else seems to really know about this, but it's an ex-Corsair that seemed to have taken on his own shoulders to correct the timeline, and this one is a doozy, and also a very confusing one. So what he's trying to do is make a time anomaly. The time anomaly.
He starts to speak and then stops. If you are saying the, I assume you can only be referring to the Sigma 7 incident?
That one.
Yeah.
Okay. He kind of leans forward. Let me just make sure I got this straight. This ex-Corsair is trying to ensure that two beings from two different timelines touch each other somewhere on Sigma 7, thus causing a time anomaly that rips every life off of the planet, making it unstable and unlivable even to this day, thus causing the Commonwealth to form the Corsairs in the first place. That Sigma 7?
That's the one.
Sounds about right.
Okay, I'm finding that a bit hard to believe. What do you mean by he was trying to ensure it? It already happened. It's part of time.
So, yeah, apparently, from a few different events, it looks like it got a little skewed and off course. We have found out that the reason why our particular group was being targeted because, apparently, I was the one who's supposed to touch my other self and make that anomaly.
Hello.
As you can see, I'm here.
You're the one from another timeline?
No, that's the other Lucas.
More than I'm from a slightly skewed present timeline, and there is another Lucas from another timeline that's on our ship.
What?
Yeah.
Like he spits out what he was drinking, does one of those spit takes.
Yeah, we
I'm
got him.
Are you insane?
We've
you
been
two-
keeping an eye on him. We're not gonna blow everything up.
Oh, good. It's fine that he's in the same universe on the same ship because you're keeping an eye on him?
Well,
As
the
long
people
as they
in the
have
nerve
lots of
building brought
fun.
him to Zebron in the first place.
Yeah, and that.
Right. The criminal syndicate / vampires / monsters. That's actually crazy enough for me to believe. Okay. All right. Let's say that I believe you, because quite honestly, you just don't have any reason to lie. Something got changed, something got messed up, and this ex-Corsair was trying to correct it to make sure that the incident happened. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Where is this person?
That would be in the tower. You might have seen a man, unlike the others, with his head and spine removed from his body.
It's just his head.
I was going through it. Yes. Was descriptions. So, he didn't survive the little whatever it was in that building.
No.
Okay. And why are you telling me this?
Because we still have the situation of, since we have all the pieces, what exactly we should do with them. Now, he holds up a finger, mind you, I have been a part of 3 different things that are supposed to happen in time. And on each occasion, we were able to change the timeline without any repercussions. Change is a strong word. More of, apparently, time just thinks that the future is something, and it will become that until corrected. And that's
Well,
happened 3 times.
that is a bit of an odd way of putting it, but yes, little changes can be made all the time. The universe will try to correct itself. It's only the big whopping changes, like something that would change the course of an entire planet, that really cause problems. The Corsairs tend to, if I'm being honest, play it a little more sensitively than that. After all, it's not good enough to tell a kid that if fire may hurt you. Might as well just tell them fire will destroy you. Safer that way. But yes, it is possible to make some changes to the timeline without things really causing problems. But this is Sigma 7. This is the event. The event.
It is true. Now, mind you, I will point out one of our events that we did change. We accidentally created a god through a faith that we made with a man that we put into position with an object we gave into his hands. We changed all of that and the entirety of a world, and that did not create a time anomaly.
Okay, first of all, WTF to that, but we'll get back to that in a second. Lucas, were you a part of correcting this god thing that you made?
I definitely had a hand in it.
And also a hand in creating it?
Maybe a bit of a lesser part to that, but yes, I was definitely there and changing a few things.
Is it fair to say that the religion or this god would not have been created had you not been there?
Yeah.
Then that makes sense. If you are the alternate you, or not the you from this place, then the original creation of the god would have been skewing the timeline. Fixing that would have simply corrected the mistake. After all, you were never supposed to be here. If I'm understanding this correctly.
I have very little understanding of exactly how this works, but that sounds right, sure.
But I understand the concept better than most. So you're trying to figure out, should you cause Sigma 7 to happen?
Well, we more have come with a few options or ideas, and then seeing what we can do with them. But, yeah, I guess the last alternative is having that go through without a hitch.
Yeah,
Alright.
because we like the Corsairs. We like Zebron. We would like it to still be a thing.
But it also means causing the death of 6 billion people.
And that's why we're here.
Yeah.
I can understand.
Are there any alternatives?
What were your ideas?
So, from a lot of our particular timelines and things being changed from our perspective of how things are done, we usually have a replacement and a false truth of what people thought it might have been. The death of the legend of techno-wizardry,
Yeah,
we staged to a T,
yeah.
and no one was the wiser.
Mhm.
Including the timeline.
Interesting.
So,
If no one's the wiser, then perhaps the timeline wasn't corrected so much as simply always. Anyway, continue.
we have a few ideas. we can stage something similar. Have a particular time anomaly of... We've also changed the plan of having me not touch myself. I know, I'm laughing internally too. But
I
having...
understand. I'd rather not lose someone as unique as yourself.
We have changed this to having two objects of the same object touch itself. Same effect, just not the whole death thing. But, as again, if we can't change things, we'll do it to a T. We're going to take two objects from two of different timelines that are the same thing and have them pressed together. I think they're trying to keep it vague enough so people don't notice that it might happen. I think they're doing some sort of catapult or something. I suggested trains. I thought two trains colliding together would be great. But anyway.
So did I. Cathor did not like it.
Hagen's just nodding.
We decided that one of the main options would be the emphasis on importance. 6 billion people, an entire world. Why not substitute that with a cultural significance, either current or past, or a source that is vital to a group of people that, if taken away, would have a hard time living without. That was my option. Another option was, and I liked this one, being able to use the original planet, but somehow, in some way, remove the 6 billion people. And that is definitely something that, if that was supposed to be done, we need your help. It is too large of a scale for our group to do.
Lucas, with advantage, because the others have been helping you, I'd like you to roll me a persuasion check.
Alright.
You can do it, man. I believe in you.
Da, 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 da.
Marama.
Let's see. Advantage. Persuasion. Ooh, 25.
Oh.
See, this is why I was hoping Kid would have the no. He is quiet for a long time. And then he quietly pulls out the data pad and types something into it and pulls out a small chip from the data pad and puts it on the table with his finger on it. And he goes, I could be making a very big mistake here. But the world is full of people who would just sacrifice 6 billion people to ensure that something happened and never give it a second thought. I'd like to believe that there's better ways. You said that you would prefer to use the original planet but move all the people. That specifically isn't possible. The Corsairs cannot help you in this. We pride ourselves in our individuality. There are too many people, too many minds that would know and would object. Too many Corsairs that would just take you and the other you and slam them together just to ensure it. But I do like your idea. Maybe with a little misdirection. And he'll slide the chip over to you. Put that in a data pad. If you would, please.
Right now?
Yes, please.
And I will do that with her computer.
The data pad opens up the chip, and you see two files. The first one opens, and what you see is what looks like a round planet, and text stats for it start popping up on the screen. He says, "What you're looking at is designated Sigma 6. Much more remote than Sigma 7. It is nonetheless in the inhabitable zone of the solar system, but it never got enough H2O for life to form on it. It is, for all intents and purposes, a massive asteroid. Lifeless completely. You said before that you once changed history by recreating the exact same events, but in slight ways that no one knew about, right?
Yes.
So imagine, for a moment, if you would, that there was a planet called Sigma 7 that the records are tightly sealed, but I've seen them. It was a not widely visited planet. The race on there, while populous, had not developed space travel yet, and most of the Commonwealth had decided to leave them alone. Very few expeditions had ever been made to Sigma 7, and the last one was 50 years before the event. The point is that not much is known about Sigma 7, not because it was locked when the event happened, like everyone assumes, but more because we simply don't know that much about it. Now imagine that there was a clerical error. At some point in the past, someone inserted specific information, changed certain information to make a Sigma 7 suddenly Sigma 6, Sigma 6 suddenly Sigma 7.
Hmm.
Change the notes to say that there's 6 billion people on both planets.
Hmm.
The problem is that kind of bookkeeping isn't easy to get into. But
Hannah tilts her head. No, I suppose it isn't, Admiral.
he nods. There's a second file on that chip.
Mm-hmm. She'll open it.
It's a long string of characters. He goes, when the Corsairs were created, when the Commonwealth, even before them, were created, when time travel became an issue, there was a code, a master code, a password of sorts, designed and given to very select few people. This password is integrated into the Commonwealth's mainframe itself, designed for very specific people to go back and correct issues and hide things that have to be hidden for the good of everyone. When we realized we could time travel, we realized the responsibility, but also the opportunity. What you hold in your hands is a password that would get you into any system in the Commonwealth at any point in time of its existence. And you happen to be talking to the Admiral of the Corsairs, one of the very, very, very few people who has one. So when I tell you that I am taking a gamble on you, I mean that in every sense of the word. Make Sigma 7 happen. Billions of lives depend on it. And I think that should be the end of our conversation. The less I know, the better.
We'll stand up, wander aimlessly out the door.
Isaac will follow.
Just here in the hallway. The Corsair commander just here. How do you get off this thing? Where was the egg? I can't remember.
Kid, like you, since you're still in the room, you see like Hagen has just started chugging some form of alcohol.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, after a moment, kid's gonna hop down off their chair. Is there anything left on the table as far as like food goes?
Oh yeah, there's still some stuff.
Okay, yeah. Kid's gonna like grab a plate with food on it and just walk out.
Mashed potatoes and crackers.
Yeah. Gotta load up on them carbs.
Gotcha. So everyone goes.
Yeah.
He stays in the room. The door is shut after you, and you're directed off the ship.
I didn't know I've been muted this entire time.
Uh-oh.
Kenzie.
What happened?
I don't
What?
know what I muted myself.
You attacked him, didn't you?
No, it was a lot of like agreeing, and it was also probably one of those things where there was just enough pause that what I was saying fit in well enough. I thought you were actually responding.
I hate those.
Hate it.
So
Would've loved
like,
it's like while muted, and like I stab him.
no.
No one can know. We have the password. Kill him and run.
There can only be one
My
highlight.
plan worked perfectly.
I did forget. I'm sorry. He would have said this. It's very important. He would have mentioned this. It's a password that can only be used once.
Okay, good to know. I won't mess around with it.
Right.
But what I was
once the
saying when
password's used, the whole system changes. So yeah.
Yeah.
So now
Well,
it's time
one-
to make a virus.
What I was saying when I realized I muted was that she's going to take a little bit more time to leave because she's just kind of admiring the ship on the way out.
Gotcha. All right. So, you guys, after a very successful trip to see Admiral Hagen, you got dinner, you got a cool ship, you convinced him to help.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we actually went talked to him. Good idea, Kenzie. Really good fucking idea.
I'd also be
Thank
glad that you guys had the idea someone charismatic talk to him.
Yeah!
Because, like I said, you could have had Kid roll that persuasion check.
So, I mean, as long as it was me or Luke.
It
Well-
wouldn't be the first time.
Let's see what my persuasion is.
That's not as good as
Holy
mine.
shit!
Oh!
Oh, shit.
Okay.
You wasted that shit.
Do you guys realize that is the second persuasion he has rolled critical save on in the past few sessions?
That's
Mhm.
true.
Not that
Crazy.
that one counted.
It counted in my heart, and that's the
Hey,
only one that
Sid,
mattered.
you wanna
You wanna fuck?
No,
critical persuasion?
I'm not a
Hagen's on top
bard.
of you. Well, I know that's why
The
you
bard
needed a
is
crit.
the one that does it.
All right. So we can pull out more narratively. What are your next steps?
I guess setting up what we need to do so we can blow up Sigmund 6.
Yeah,
Sigma
Yeah.
7, you mean?
I think.
Yes.
I think the
7
first thing.
Astros.
Squee, no, we want to do Sigma. Squee, we want to do Sigma 6.
Sigma 7, wink, wink.
No!
No, what we do is we switch Sigma 7 and Sigma 6, and we blow up Sigma 6. Kill all those
Jesus
people.
fucking Christ.
Guys!
I think Hagen might actually have a fucking conniption at that point.
Hagen would
exist.
Here's the
I
brilliant
don't
part. Hagen would never know.
No, you wouldn't.
Oh my god.
It would be a clerical error, and he would be like, "What? It's always been Sigma 6."
Sigma 7? That's just a useless space rock. What are you talking about?
Oh my god.
Shit,
All right.
that's something we would do. AU.
No, but we're
that
not.
happens in the AU. In the alternate
So-
universe.
There are a few things that you would need. First and foremost, you would have to make said clerical error. Now, we can fast forward a bit over the mundane parts. You guys would obviously need to go back in time to before when the event took place, but you're gonna have to go back there anyway
Take
to
Paula.
make the event. Yeah. So you can go back in time onto the Commonwealth. You will, however, need to deal with this. You have to get into a records facility somehow and make the swap. Not incredibly difficult. It's not like records facilities are the most highly guarded things in the world, but
Right.
you are trying to crack a system.
I
I
try
mean,
the
so
back
there-
door.
Everybody
It's like
talk
the Red
at
Lion
the same
Bank
time.
all over again.
One
Yeah.
at a time, people, please.
All right, Lucas wants to try the back door. What about you, Anna?
I was going to say, Indigo and Anna put on outfits that show they were maintenance people, and then they break in, and when they're handing them beer, they knock them out.
Oh my god. Okay,
Oh my
kid.
God.
I was gonna say Sarah,
Oh,
but
that works.
that works.
I think I'm just making a reference. Sarah.
Okay, of these three ideas, which ones are you guys going with?
I
You
think
better
Sarah
not pick
might be the
mine, I swear to
smartest.
God.
No.
The back door. That's the right way.
Seems
I
like you
think
did it.
Sarah's the smartest.
Oh, I have another idea. Do we still have those fly drones?
Yes.
You
Oh.
do.
Yes.
So,
you do, actually.
Can we have it transmit data? Can we modify one to make it transmit data?
I mean, yes, there's no reason why you couldn't. I was going to say make me a roll, but you kind of have the person who made them there.
Yeah.
So that seems
She
like
can
a
roll.
seems like a bit of a pointless roll. It'd be like, hey, you, the person that wrote this program, can you modify it a little bit? I don't know how to do that.
I
I'll
don't know
try
how
to
I
roll
modified this in the
for it.
first place.
Give me a second. I can do it.
Oh my god.
So
So yes, she could modify it to transmit data.
So, third option, little fly drone goes in, nobody cares about it, probably, because it's just a fly, and then transmits
alien
the
fly!
data.
What is
I
this
wanted
small
to
creature
collect
buzzing
this.
around?
My
I see
god,
some-
Squee, are we gonna actually have a combat where we stealth the fly?
No. What? No. It's a bloody fly. I mean, if we want to be completely fair, there's always a very small chance that you have someone in that room that just like has fly swatter at the ready. But I'm going to say that would have to be a natural one. No.
Cool.
So here's the deal. While I had an interesting scene planned, you guys you guys are actually being incredibly clever and utilizing a resource you got all the way like session 5, I
100
think,
plus
Yeah.
episodes ago. I don't know.
150
A
plus
long time
episodes,
ago.
yeah.
to
3
make
years ago.
a probe that is specifically designed to be unobtrusive. Fly into the record keeping and transmit the data. I am really struggling to find a reason to say that this isn't just going to work. I mean, I really don't know how to say that. So
We have
yeah,
probes. All right, we shoot one of the giant space probes at the building.
Oh my god, Piph!
it
Those are
crashes into the
giants.
record keeping and then begins transmitting.
No. The big probe is the distraction so that they don't look at the little probe.
It's one of those
No.
moments. It's one of those moments where I should be upset because I'm like, I had something cool planned, but I'm actually just far more excited that the group actually found a way to just completely bypass all of it.
Surprise.
Yeah. So, guess what, everyone?
Mm-hmm.
There's been a small clerical error, it would seem.
Whoa. What about?
Nobody notices.
I mean, it seems that Sigma 6 and Sigma 7 now have a live population, and due to, I guess, some sort of counting error, Sigma 7 is actually closer in the orbit to the sun than Sigma 6. But hey, they've already been named, can't change it now.
Yeah, they circle around. You just like, that one looks closer.
Look, scientists
So,
have made dumber choices.
You not only changed the records of which one is which, Sigma 6 and Sigma 7, but you've also changed the records to denote that both planets have life on
Cool.
them. So I guess then all that remains is the deed.
The deed.
Unless
Yes.
So let's say this. You guys change the records on the Commonwealth. Zeberon is smaller, and the Corsairs obviously don't exist, but otherwise it looks remarkably similar, as the Commonwealth was made long before the need for the Corsairs was decided. And then you make your way to Sigma 7, which is not that far. It's only about 2 or 3 days at your speed, your light speed.
Sigma 6, Squee.
Sigma 6. No, Sigma 7! You've already changed it!
Are you sure?
We do not want to actually make that AU canon. Come on, guys.
No. Everything is the same, but.
You're going to make me regret you succeeding that persuasion check, aren't you?
Yes.
Could have
If you
just been
thought
some mining colony somewhere. Okay, you travel to the destination, and we will say it's the night before. Isaac, you are doing final preparations and practice runs with the device that is now installed into the ship itself. It's actually installed into one of the gunner turrets.
Mhm.
You and Mackenzie are probably running drills because now that you know
Mackenzie?
where the planet is. I'm sorry, you and Anna.
Oh shit! I didn't know I had a computer science degree.
Yeah,
Right?
and you're in the future.
Damn it!
Amazing.
You run through all the necessities. Anna, you figure out what level of geosynchronous orbit you would have to achieve and how to get there to cut the engines. You determine that best I was gonna say best escape path. You're in space, just away from it is probably the best. But you guys basically you stop the night before. Now that you're at the planet, you get into orbit with it. All that's left now, of course, is someone's going to have to go down and set up the plate at a location. But where so the planet is barren. It's an asteroid. It doesn't even have an atmosphere, which actually improves your calculations. Now that I think about it, you don't have to compensate for an atmosphere.
Just in case,
Obviously, because. Mm-hmm.
do we still have one of those vehicles? Because I remember us having a pickup truck and a van.
Yeah, I mean, they would be there. I don't have them on the map, but I don't see why you wouldn't have them.
Okay, so would we be able to attach a tracking beacon to one? You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we go down, we mount one of the plates on the top of this vehicle. We go down, we put the vehicle down with the orb inside. And that's the target.
Right, but you'd have to have the plate on the outside of the vehicle.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Gotcha.
It's attached to...
Staple it onto the hood.
Something like that.
So, yeah, that's easy enough to do. And then you get the precise grid coordinates, and you get a... basically, you bounce a laser beam back on the plate, which is what you would need to do. You'd need that kind of precision in order to make your calculations. So it's literally like on the moon, we have a reflective dish that we can actually shine light at and get it bounced right back to us so we can pinpoint it.
Except this
same
is a golden
concept
plate.
there.
Yeah.
Right. In fact, it's a fairly shiny plate. You can literally just bounce a laser beam right back off of. So we'll say this is the night before. what, if anything, do you guys want to do before I do a couple things?
If anything.
Play around on the laser gun range. Try and make sure that my aiming is
No.
great.
I think we should probably choose this moment to actually like hang out as a group for once in case we fuck up horribly and die.
Sure.
That'd be
That
weird.
sounds good.
All right.
I'm sorry. I heard all of that except for what you actually wanted to do.
Let's all hang
I
out.
want to die.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
just kind
all
of hang out as a group.
Got
Yeah.
you. Okay. Yeah, I heard everything. It was just like, let's, just in case we all die. I was like, wait, what? Okay. So, like, everyone's hanging in, the Starlock Lounge?
Mhm.
What should we do with other Lucas? Because I feel kind of bad.
Hang in the Starlock Lounge.
No.
Same couch. It's fine.
Nope.
They're not going to play handsies.
Leave room for Jesus.
That might be the problem.
There is no Hellhound. Oh, I see.
Oh.
So you guys are leaving Ryle out of the Starlock Lounge again.
We
It's
literally can't.
I mean, we
If-
can try.
If you want, we can just drag the couches down to Royale.
You know what? That's kind of cute.
Yeah, let's all drag the
Yeah,
couches.
let's hang
and-
out with him.
Yeah,
No,
we
yeah,
even.
no, that's fine. Let me just move all the tokens back over here.
Where's my token? There's my token. Also, I don't think I can move heart.
No, I'll
Right?
move her.
Yeah, I can't. Nope.
Actually, yeah, no, that's kind of adorable.
Yeah,
And
and I know they are stuck on the map layer, but it's fine.
And Anna, of course, Sam would be joining you. He hasn't left your side very often.
That's a little awkward, but also understandable.
Yeah. I mean, he lets you go to the restroom, gives you like 5 minutes of peace during the day, and he doesn't say much, but he does converse
Squee.
with you.
Squee.
Yes. Did you?
Nothing.
Oh,
What?
What?
so confused. But you guys spend the night talking about adventures. I mean, talking about past. Levine tells you guys some stories of when she was a goddess. Fantastical tales. Cyber 6 tells you guys a little bit about the Cyber Collective when he was young. I don't have 10. Yeah,
Mm.
I have 4, not 10. It's in the car. I like money.
I need money too.
I don't have money. I don't have. I'll deal with it later. I don't have right now.
Deal. I'm giving you 40 and you
I
give
got
me
no
10.
cash. I'm at my computer at home. Sorry,
Squee.
everyone. I'm very sorry. I don't have. I'm so sorry. I have no cash on me.
I mean, I don't think 5 Canadian dollars can help you guys much.
Sorry, she was giving me 40, but it was only supposed to be 30, so she wanted 10 change, and I'm like, I'm in my jammies. I don't have $10 on me. Anyway, sorry for derailing that. Completely. But no, you guys basically reminisce about old times. It is a cheerful yet very tense atmosphere as no one's really sure what's going to happen tomorrow, and everyone understands that there's actually a real chance that you don't know what's going to happen when those plates touch. You have no idea. You can pause it, you can theorize, but no one has ever done this before
That we know of.
that you know of.
But
So
we did do it because it happened in the past and then it happened in the future. So it
Lucas says. No, but there is a tenseness to the atmosphere, and at one point, Cyber 6 would say, "So, let's say we do this. let's say everything comes out perfectly. And let's say that Indigo and I still, well, we're still here. What's next? What is everyone, I mean, what's next?
I don't know. I'm thinking of retiring. Let's be honest.
God, that feels nice.
Yeah.
Sounds nice, but money.
There are other ways to earn money.
And Sam would say, I've said before, Anna, that is far too much to ask of you.
I'm going to do it.
It's like he knows. Sorry, I just got a private message in all caps. That's fine. To whoever sent that to me, don't worry. We'll figure it out. We have time. Sam will. So this is probably a conversation Anna and Sam have had before.
Yeah.
And Sam knows he's not winning it.
No.
So he'll just quietly go, "Thank you."
She just kind of and just kind of waves it off, but is smiling.
And Cyber 6 goes, "That's right. You do need a lot of money. You know, I was thinking, if this all pans out, if things don't change too much, maybe there's a way to petition Hagen to let bygones be bygones. I could make a lot of money as a Corsair."
So it is a profitable business, eh?
Profitable, but also it's a life of, he just kind of spreads his arms wide. This, without end. Some people really enjoy that. I, myself, I don't think I could live any other way. The quiet life, in one place, that reminds me too much of the Cyber Conclave, I guess.
I don't know.
Lucas sort of just nods and goes, "You know what? I'm in."
What, for Corsairs?
Well, sort of. We have always been like that sort of.
Cyber 6 goes, "Think of it, Lucas. Always."
Squee,
You cut out, Squee.
He's gone.
Oh no.
Squee?
Uh-oh.
Squee, come
Can you
back.
guys
there
hear
you
me?
are. Yes.
Okay.
You're back.
You
Okay,
said
sorry.
think about it, and then it
Yeah.
cut out.
Think about
Think
it.
about it.
No.
He said, think about it. Traveling through time, always seeing new places, new people, fighting bad guys.
That's why I agreed. The problem is I always keep hearing about like classes. I'm not gonna do that.
Well, if I can convince Hagen to let me back into the Corsairs, I'm sure convincing him to let you in without classes would be a walk in the park.
Yeah. Oh, but that's not, of course, like, I still need a crash course on a few things. I mean, I can talk to the ship, but that's about it.
And Sarah goes, "Well, I always really wanted to be an operator. Well, I say always. I didn't even know about them a year ago, but maybe I could be your operator."
Lucas, like, looks like he's kind of weighing things. No, that could be. What's an operator?
She kind of rolls her eyes and she goes, "Someone who talks to you over the radio, gives you advice and information."
Oh God, you're really good at that. Yeah, I could do. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Thank you.
First actual compliment, and she's given him, or he's given her.
No, he's given her tons when she was pulling pranks.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Never mind.
And Pa goes, well, I can't say about the rest of you, but I still have a station to run, and really
Pause
like to
with
talk.
us?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pa's still with you guys.
Okay.
Just drinking.
Yeah. And he goes, and I'd still really like to talk to you about maybe a new contract with a ship like this.
Yeah. I would be interested. I would need to learn how to pilot a ship, though. But from what I can tell, it's fairly straightforward.
And Cyber 6 would then look over at Kid. What about you? What do you do when we don't have to run 100 miles an hour every day?
Kid looks up from their spot, just kind of leaning against Ryle, playing with Lil, and goes, this? I mean,
What do you mean by this?
they just kind of like gesture. Like, I just kind of hang out, I guess. I mean, I've been drawing and stuff, and I've been trying to learn some things, but, like, I don't know. They just shrug.
Well, in theory, there's always time to figure it out. I guess especially when you have at least 500 years to live.
And I say, you know, with time, conversation generally kind of dies down as people get tired. Some people maybe fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Kid passes out on the floor, absolutely.
Does Kid not always pass it on the floor?
Fair.
And Cyber 6 would eventually stand up, throw a sombrero on, and say, well, whatever happens, just wanted to let you guys know that I don't know any other people that would fly outside of known space to save someone like me.
Mm-hmm.
It's been an absolute honor knowing each and every one of you.
Hear, hear.
Here, here.
And with that, he and Indigo would go off to their room.
Okay. I guess we should, at least some of us should be conscious tomorrow for when this happens.
Yeah. I should probably hit the hay, too.
So, everyone kind of drifts off to sleep. Wake up the next morning, have yourselves a hearty breakfast.
Destroy a planet.
Lucas Ace, you would have been prepared for this. This is a big day.
Yeah.
It's not every day you destroy Sigma, one of the numbers.
Sigma,
It's
whichever
not every day you
one it
destroy
is.
Sigmund Freud.
I think it was fun.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's like
Kenzie.
Sigma 4. Oh no. And then you all start taking your places. The plate's already down there, just waiting there in the truck. You can ping it. You can see that it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Anna, I wouldn't have you roll to get into a geosynchronous orbit because, I mean, with your skill, that would be beyond child's play.
Mhm.
Once you know where to go, I mean, you're in space. It's not like there's a lot to crash into. So you get into geosynchronous orbit so that you're right above the location of the plate in the orb, and then you begin shutting everything down, including life support. Everything. The ship has to be. The thing is, there can't be any systems on that might cause vibration in the hull.
Mhm.
Now, you guys are fine. You're not even technically on the ship. Actually, wait. That's not true. Now that I think about it, Isaac, you'd probably have to be in the main ship. Because this has to be installed into the hull. So you would be on the the main ship itself. So still, you, Isaac, and if anyone else is there with you, would have about 15 minutes of air. So plenty of time to make the shot, certainly.
Well, I also have a set of body armor that has like an hour's worth of air, right?
Right. Sure.
I also have the spell Breathe Without Air, so it's no big deal.
Yeah, okay. Well, you're fine.
And you know what? I have a whole bunch of air tanks from that one time I was scared about that helium thing.
like Isaac's just rolling in oxygen tanks.
Oh my god, Piph, you're right.
Lucas? Yeah, Piph, you're right. You're right, you still have those.
Oh, Jesus, I forgot about that.
I gave up for that.
Life support, schmife support. Who needs it?
Yeah, this is gonna be... We've done a lot of shit on this campaign, but those feels can wait for later.
So Hart would actually go with you, Isaac, because truth be told, only people on the main ship are in an immense amount of danger. Because there's not going to be time for you to land the ship, exit the ship, or spacewalk through the ship to get to the... Because you would have had to, this morning, you would have had to basically outside the ship, hit your watch, and then go back on the ship.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to do that while trying to outrun whatever is going to happen. So Hart was going to join you because she's not going to leave you there alone. Pa's going to join you because he's not Hart. And maybe you.
Who else is coming? Is anybody else coming?
It's good. Kid's gonna be up in the cockpit with Anna.
Lucas will join.
You also have one more person join. Adelum very awkwardly makes his way out to the EVA. So
bring in my air tanks.
So Lucas, Isaac, Hart, Pa, and Adelum.
Okay.
You guys make your way onto the original ship. Anna steers it into high orbit, geosynchronous with it, of course, shuts down all systems. And those of you on the main ship, you hear the systems shut off one by one until it's so quiet, even anti-gravity removed from the ship. And the hum of the ship, the vibration stop. Anna, I assume, you're by the controls, ready for that instant, that moment. Kid, in the co-pilot chair, you don't know if it'll be necessary or not, but you have the shields in case you need to divert power to them or divert power to weapons or engines. I mean, you're not sure. You're not sure what's going to happen, so you're kind of prepared for whatever.
I don't know that they would be able to, because the last time they tried to push any of the buttons, everyone said, no, don't do that, because they fucked up.
Yeah, but all the people who said that aren't there.
Yeah.
I'm here, and I was muted again.
No.
Oh,
Yep, you sure were.
yeah.
Well, just essentially, once again, perfect gaps in between things being said. Yeah, she's by the controls, obviously.
Gotcha.
And Anna did tell her to stop, or tell them to stop pressing the buttons, so...
That is true.
Absolutely.
So Kid's just sitting there.
Yep, Kid is sitting there, crisscross applesauce, hands in their lap.
So Isaac, you get into the turret, and everyone else just kind of holds on.
Wait. He's not actually physically in the turret. He's in the cockpit, standing with what looks like a pistol with a bunch of wires hanging off of it.
Oh, all right, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Because that's the
and
kind
everyone
of shot
around
he's
you
gonna
is kind of holding on to something or tying themselves down.
make.
Hart would take her helmet off briefly and give you a kiss on the cheek for good luck. And she'd say, I know you can do it.
Thank you. And he'll get ready, assume the shooter position.
And while you're doing that, you hear from Adelum, steady feet. Remember,
Mhm.
breathe out, shoot on the down low, the pause between breaths,
Don't
easy
pull
trigger pull.
Yeah. Don't jerk
Like-
the trigger,
like,
pull
almost
the
like-
trigger, squeeze it.
He's like backseat gunning.
I know how to do this, Dad.
All right, I know. Just, you got one shot.
I know. Make it count. So, do I get any bonuses for the tracking or anything?
Yes. I'm going to give you advantage for
Oh,
quite a few things.
if you weren't already, I was gonna burn a
Mhm.
grit point.
Oh.
Did I?
Yeah, well, okay, you did that first. We'll say you do.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone want to give him a little bit of inspiration or
Lucas?
it's not a really important role, honestly.
I'm waiting to see if any of the other characters wanted to give inspiration.
They don't work like that.
I'm
Go get him, champ.
keeping
You're
it
the
got
bars.
day. I didn't want to just give these out though. I if I need them later.
I might need them for later, Squee.
Oh my god.
there might be more important roles ahead.
If I run out, this is on your head.
That's fine. We only have one shot.
What
We need to
What
do
We
lovely-
only have one head.
what lovely inspirational speech.
Don't roll a 1.
Twice.
Twice.
'Cause he's doing
2
advantage.
times. Lucas loudly says.
So when you're ready, Isaac, advantage, make a ranged attack, and you have inspiration if you need it.
Okay, and the inspiration is D10, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Let's go.
Wow.
Fucking
That
really?
is literally the same.
And 10.
Whoa! That was a really inspirational speech, Lucas.
Yeah, that one.
It's like he's like sitting there with the gun and just like, and the days of how we got together were marvelous together. I just can't believe our friendship has finally gotten to this point. Remember day 1.
Oh my god.
So, to let you know, I had different levels of DCs here, and
Mhm.
depending on what DC you hit, would depend on what would happen. The highest DC I had was 25.
Oh! And I made it. Oh. Perfect
So,
shot.
just to let you know.
Oh. Oh, that feels good.
Day 2 was an interesting one.
So, Isaac, you as Lucas drones on behind you, offering words of encouragement, you focus down the sights and fall into that telemechanic trance,
I cheated you at cards.
becoming one with the system, with the
Jackass.
catapult. And you don't just feel the trigger on your finger, you are part of the trigger, you are connected to it, it is an extension of your hand. And you look at the telemetry through the sights and you see the red arcing shot that the computer has calculated to be the perfect telemetry of the shot. And 10 seconds pass. 20. 30. You're just not feeling it. It's not there yet. Everything's right, but you need that moment. That moment you know as a sniper, as a marksman. 45 seconds. A minute. A minute 10, and then, right then, you can't quite describe why. You don't know exactly what it was, but you knew. This is it, now. And you pull, and the plate is launched. And it's one of those moments where Isaac, everyone else is holding their breath, but you don't need to. You know you hit the mark before it even hits the mark. There is 20 seconds of flight time. And then after 20 seconds, there's a brilliant flash of light. You all can see below you on the planet what looks like a green speck. Very quickly turns into a green bubble, into a green dome. It's getting bigger and bigger. Anna,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want to do?
Leave.
Drive at it.
The rest of you in the ship, you feel a in the hole as all of the systems kick on into high gear and the engines rocket to life. But still, even with the engines that you have, 30 seconds from zero to takeoff, 30 agonizing seconds as you watch this green dome grow and consume the planet below you. And now as it gets bigger, you can see it's a dome of green flame and fire as it
Oh shit.
surrounds the planet it touches. You can see it looks like it's eating up the rock underneath it as it gets closer to the ship and closer to the ship. It starts to fill your view screen. The light inside the ship turns green as it blocks your vision, and right when it looks like it's about to hit you, the engines roar to life. Anna, I'd like you to make me a piloting check.
I don't
And
have
while
a
you do
piloting
that-
check.
So I would do dexterity with proficiency.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, Lucas, yes?
Yeah, we had to have a very important that orb.
It's
The orb-
down there.
Yeah,
Okay,
the orb
cool.
was
I just
inside
wanted to
of
make sure
the-
that I was.
Yeah,
noted.
it was at ground zero, so it's at the center of that big, giant, green, flamey dome thing.
Yeah, I was
Got
gonna
it.
say it fucking better be.
Yeah, we sure as fuck had it. That's the main reason why I wanted to sacrifice the pickup truck. Let's say I sacrificed the pickup truck. Specifically because it could just sit on the fucking chair and nobody would care, and it will be at the center of the blast.
Shotgun to the end of Sigma 7.
Just
Yeah.
a bitch.
Goodbye.
Anna, the ship rockets to life, and you do like a J-turn, skid into space, and just hit the afterburners, giving everything you have. Those of you in the ship, the centrifugal force just rockets you back against the chairs as the explosion behind you begins buffeting the ship with shockwaves. Were this a normal ship, were Anna in a normal cockpit, that roll would not have been good enough to come out of this unscathed as the shockwaves continue to buffet the ship. But Anna's not in a normal cockpit. And where she is, things are smooth as silk. Yeah, no, Isaac. So Isaac just stood there for 30 seconds. It didn't bother buckling up or anything.
I mean,
Just looking at
Yeah,
the
no, that
explosion.
sounds about right.
Yeah,
that sounds,
and it does.
that sounds like
Right?
something all our player characters would do.
Right?
Specifically
Just staring at
Isaac,
the green
though.
explosion.
So,
I wonder if I hit it.
so as the ship like spins and rockets out, Isaac flies out of the cockpit.
Go on.
And you hear a thud on a wall somewhere.
He just falls into his old room.
Anna, you can see on your instruments the shockwaves are actually doing damage to the outside hull of the ship, but where you are, smooth, it's clear. There's no impact, there's no inertia, there's no centrifugal force, and you can focus entirely on the controls. And
She is cackling.
Oh, okay, kid. Anna's cackling next to you in the viewport, because this is the strange thing on your ship. In the viewport, it looks like you're there, so you still see giant flames approaching at incredibly high speeds, the ship rocketing away from it. And there is a tense 15 seconds as those of you inside the ship are buffeted about, inside the main ship are buffeted about, not sure if you're going to make it. Those of you in the pocket dimension are just kind of, I imagine everyone who's not in the cockpit is just kind of sitting there going, so did they do it?
They're not in here watching. No, Anna wouldn't let them in here to watch.
No, I was going to say, I don't think Anna would want them in there.
Yeah.
But there is a tense amount of time as Anna manages to stay just ahead of the roaring flames until you can get the engines revved up enough and get a telemetry to kick in the light drives.
Mm-hmm.
And then in an instant, you jump out and you're safe. Something happened. No one's quite sure exactly what, but you know the plates hit. You know Sigma 7 was consumed by some sort of green flame.
You said that number weird.
Yeah, I did.
Aw.
Just thought I'd note it, just in case it was important.
So, what now? What are you guys doing?
She's gonna go on the intercom and go Cyber 6 Indigo report.
There's a pause. Silence. And then we're still here.
Do you still remember the Corsairs?
Yes. I do.
Okay. Good step one. Go find land.
Right. And there's like an oddness to it.
You okay, Indigo?
I think so. I feel strange. Like I remember things that I shouldn't or don't, or I don't know. Anna, I'd like you to roll an intelligence check for
Can you also roll an intelligence check?
me. No, not kid. Anna, you also feel this strange sensation. You remember everything from the time you were a little girl, you were raised, everything went basically the same way. Your life was normal. The only thing that's different, and you don't know why you recall this exactly, why this comes up, but you remember hearing stories about the Sigma 7 incident. How 6 billion lives were lost and how the Corsairs were formed. And how one of the first acts of the Corsairs was to evacuate everyone from Sigma 6 to safety before the effects of Sigma 7 overcame them. And you're a little odd. It's a weird thing to think of right now, but it feels off, weird. Something about it.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. But you're the only one that feels that way. You and anyone else that came from the future.
Yeah, that's what I figured it was. Okay, let's go get land.
All right. Where? Where land?
Closest, safest place we can
Sigma
land.
7.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Which one?
Actually, let's stay off the
two.
segment. Ooh, can we stay off the segments?
Yes, you can. You're already at light speed, so you're probably
Okay.
out of that solar
What?
system
What?
by now.
I more mean, how
Where-
long are they going to be down there if we stay off the segments?
Wait, what? We're in the past. Why don't we just go to Frontier Station?
I need to get you guys out of the other ship.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus, you're in the past, but you're like still 200 years beyond Frontier Station.
Oh, that's why Paw's with
Oh.
us. Okay.
But we can say that you guys make it to a spaceport.
Okay.
And you land, and it doesn't take you very long. You land. Everyone inside the ship, most of them no worse for wear. Isaac has a really nasty bump.
Yeah, he kind of split his lip open a bit, but that'll be fine. He'll heal that over.
Did you hit yourself with your gun?
No.
What happened to you?
I was standing, then the engines turned on, then I hit my head.
Why didn't you sit?
Shut up.
How long have they been giving you shit for this while I've been driving?
Oh, like Adelum, it was nonstop.
I wanted to make sure it hit okay.
You can
That
do
was
that from a
light.
sitting position?
Like, basically, what was happening is like as I'm sitting out in the hallway, nursing his wounds, and the ship shaking too much for him to stand up. You just hear out the door, "Seatbelts are great safety devices. You use them by buckling in. There's the A side and the B side."
Jesus.
I think I did mine wrong.
Oh,
Lucas is
Sassy
just like
dad
tied in a
activated.
granny knot. But yes, you quickly find everyone seems to still be there, and Anna, people describe people like Adelum and Theta and Cyber 6 and Indigo describe a similar sensation that everything seems normal. You see that there's little changes. There's little tiny things. Like, interestingly enough, Indigo was the leader of the Corsairs. Cyber 6 was her subordinate.
Oh.
They
Oh.
still met. They still met. He was still from the Cyber Conclave.
Are we aware these are differences, or is it just this feels weird?
This feels weird.
Okay.
Like, you don't think they're different. You're wondering why you're suddenly recalling this stuff, this information. And one thing, Isaac, you note is while everyone's kind of going over, and the thing is too, from the future, one thing to note from the future, those of you from the future, you don't exactly recall why you were here. You remember it was a mission. You remember everyone, your friends. You remember you were on a mission. You remember you think you were successful, but it's kind of escaping you what the point was. You remember that something was built. Anna, you remember that you had to be in orbit, that you had to run the explosion. Don't quite remember why. And Isaac, there is a moment where Theta kind of sits down and she goes, "Well, I guess Mom will be happy to know we're safe."
Excuse me?
Well, I mean, she worries.
Isaac doesn't know this is odd, or this is different.
No, Isaac would.
Oh,
Isaac
Isaac? Okay.
sure as fuck would.
Oh, fuck, right. He's in the past. Got it.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Mom?
Mother. Jesus, Isaac.
The spider lady, remember?
And Theta goes, "What? No, not her. Mom, your mother."
Oh.
Do
Wow.
you have a spider lady?
No. No, my mom. Where is she?
And Adelum goes, "Are you our son?" She's where we left her, back on Earth.
I think I will be okay.
Okay. Well, all right then. And I'll pull this out a little narratively, Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
Over the next day or so, you can judiciously ask some questions and learn that, according to your father and your sister, though very much not according to you, according to your father and your sister, things played out a little differently. Your mother was severely injured, critically injured by Mother, put in a coma that Adelum and Theta thought she would never wake out of. And things progressed very similarly. Your father left you on Earth thinking that he needed to get vengeance and that he was somehow sparing you that.
Mm-hmm.
But about 6 months ago, she woke up. Older, very confused, but very much alive.
Okay. I'm sorry. This is taking a bit to process. Because I did not think that would happen.
Wibbly wobbly,
really
timey
cool.
wimey.
Yeah, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff, and that is so cool. So cool.
One thing to note, and I have to say this out of character.
Mm-hmm.
No one has any memories of another Lucas. Just the original.
Well, that's so convenient.
That is so convenient.
Also makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it
also makes
does.
so much sense, but now we don't have to deal with that, so great.
Yeah. God, this changes fucking everything. Holy shit. I thought I had an idea of what I wanted to do. But now I don't.
And Hart
Look,
would
Lucas in the middle of one of the days just goes, wait, that... I think he's alive, that son of a bitch.
Oh.
Remember that dude that got his head twisted off? I think he's fine now.
What?
Yeah, okay, so from what I can tell about what his mother being okay and whatnot. Yeah. He should be. Well, he might be somewhere.
Wow. Okay.
Like, all right. Lucas might not know any of this, or he might know everything. Who knows?
I will say because this is something I had planned, and you clever bastard, you. I would say Lucas knows everything you want him to as far as this goes.
All right. So, as far as I can tell, none of what happened. If basically we did this, he had no reason to actually do any of the things that he did, so basically he would have never been in that situation to be killed in the first place.
Okay, no, but then what a... But... You...
Is your brain having trouble?
Fucking...
Yeah,
What
right?
are any of you guys talking about?
Just don't worry
Because
about it.
Anna's from the fucking future, so she doesn't know.
She doesn't have a clue.
Look, we did the job. It took, like, what, a week? Like, what are you guys talking about?
Well, I have to say...
Is Sam on board?
Yes,
Squee?
actually, sorry. Yes,
Please.
I was looking at something real quick. Sam is very much aboard. He's still in a robot suit. I'm sorry.
Is Ian dead?
I don't know. Give me a second. Let me think.
Seems important.
Yes. So the thing is, I'm not just randomly choosing things. I'm looking at things that might realistically be small little differences.
Yeah.
Nerve building still happened.
Okay.
But let me think here. Roll me a d20.
Me?
Yeah, because that's very much a thing that is. Oh shit! All right.
What does the 20 say?
Oh, that's a natural 20.
Yeah, what does the
What
natural
does the nat
20
20
say?
say?
Wait. Was she able to act fast enough to stop him from killing himself?
So, Anna, what would you have done if you had a second to act?
Telekinesis the gun out of his hand.
That's what I was thinking. I just didn't want to assume. You didn't quite have time for that. What you did was, because you rolled a natural 20, a little bit cooler. Out of instinct, out of pure instinct, you telekinesis the bullet out of the barrel.
Well, shit.
Now, he was still injured. The bullet still hit him, and he's been in a hospital. You haven't spoken with him, but he is very much alive.
Okay.
And there it is.
But Mom's still dead, right?
Yes, I mean, I don't see how that could, like, who would save her?
I don't fucking know.
She's very much dead.
Instead of 2 shots to the back of the head, there were 7. How about that? That's the tiny difference.
Who got to
Everything's
shoot
the
Mom
same
first?
I'm going to pull things back a bit narratively. I would say that as you guys are flying back, you get a message on the intercom, which, Anna, you were expecting.
Mm-hmm.
From Vector. Did it go well?
It went well.
Glad to hear it. Well, just glad I could have helped.
What are you doing now?
Oh, I think Miss Fiona and I deserve a vacation, don't you? After all, it's been a busy few days.
That it has.
Plus, done a lot of things that I'm not exactly proud of.
Like buy really bad wine?
To name a few, yeah. I think I have some atoning to do. Now that it's happened.
Okay. I can't judge you. I have enough sins on my hands.
Oh boy. Tell me, Squee, was this an alternate dimension where he actually shot into the window and helped us out with flames?
My fucking god.
No.
Son of a bitch.
Adelum's too proud for that.
Damn it, Squee.
God. Fucking damn it.
This could have been perfect.
It can't be. That's not how the world works.
So, kid,
Mm-hmm.
where you were, you would have heard all of this.
Mm-hmm.
But you, not being from the future, you have a very different memory.
Mm-hmm.
What does kid do? How does kid react to this?
Kid is very quiet and looks very pensive. But it's not like they're gonna be like, bitch, you died!
I killed you!
You son of a bitch! No.
Anna, from your memory, Vector, it's not like he was very different. He was still Vector, but at the nursing home, when he was confronted with a decision to choose his lifelong friend or his mission, he made a slightly different choice.
Good boy.
Did he actually parlay and work with us from then?
From that point forward. So he had still
Okay.
gathered all your enemies against you, but he helped you infiltrate the building.
I am completely fine with that.
I mean, because if you're not, we can try and hit the plates
No.
again.
I'm happy with this.
Everyone back in time.
'Cause
We gotta
that-
stop ourselves.
That was
What I would have
really-
loved is just like shot the plates and just slap right next to me, just shit, and drive down to the planet, pick up the plate again.
Pick up all the shards of the plate. Actually, I guess we don't need all the shards.
Sorry,
need one.
you were saying, Isaac.
That at that point was when I actually despised him. Like, before then, he was an annoying bastard. But
see,
when he shot up those helpless people is when I despised him. And since he didn't do that, I'm okay with this.
now here's the interesting thing for Isaac that he's going to have to work through.
Yeah.
To Isaac, he did do that. You lived through it.
Mhm.
Anna may not have, Cyber 6 may not have, but you did. It happened.
Oh, yeah. But here's
now
the thing.
you know that, yeah.
Here's the thing. We don't need to be friends.
Sure.
I don't need him in my life. Fuck him.
But yeah, this Vector made a different call. It was definitely one of those moments where, you know, he was at a crossroads and a different decision would have turned out very, very differently.
So
mhm.
are Cyber 6 and Indigo both still in the Corsairs?
Yes. No. They are not. They were kicked out.
Okay.
The only real difference there was that Indigo was the squad leader. Everything else happened. The hunt happened. Simmons screwing everyone over happened.
Because if the hunt didn't happen, then you guys never met Anna.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So all of that took place. And I think what we're going to do, for everyone who's watching, we're going to end the session here. We're not quite done. This will be the end of 3 Galaxies as far as a streaming session on Thursday nights, but we still have something planned, which is where I'm going to sit down with each of the players and we're going to record an epilogue of sorts. We're going to talk about each player, each character, and some of the NPCs and what happens after. What's the next step for them, and maybe what's the step for the next decade or two, or however long or far the players go. I'll record all this together and I'll put them up, and that'll be an epilogue to the campaign. But yeah, they did it. In fact, you guys rolled really well at the end. It could have been different. But I will sit down with each of you, and we'll see what happens to the characters as an epilogue. But this will bring the 3 Galaxies campaign to quite a fantastic conclusion. Could have been different. I really, really liked how it worked out. I really liked that you guys rolled well and came up with some nice ideas. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't mean that we're done campaigning at all. We have plans for a Ardenfell 2.0, but that'll be in a while. We need to prepare. I need time to prepare, so I can't just start next week. So I'm not sure how long it's going to be. Probably at least a month or two. But don't worry, we'll be back on Thursday nights, starting a whole new campaign. And this one, like I said, you keep tuned, because there'll be a video that's very, very important if you care about these characters and want to know what happens to them. Because even I'm not quite sure.
I think a lot of us aren't sure now after
Yeah,
this.
things have changed just a little bit.
Things have drastically changed.
So until then, everyone, I'd like to thank you all for joining us on this epic space adventure.
Yeah.
And it's always kind of sad ending a campaign, but also very satisfying. It's rare. It's so rare in the tabletop world to conclude a campaign, and we've done it twice now.
Twice.
Yeah. So that's a huge feat. And I look forward to many more adventures with all of you.
Absolutely.
Yay!
Till then,
until
everyone,
next time, everyone.
take care.
Thank you,
Bye.
Squee.
I high five myself.
Thank you all.
Oh my god!